Hello everyone, this is Crazy Uncle Steven. Now I'm going to do a small video and I want to tell you about how I felt. Okay, maybe this is just for my own personal information. But I wanted to talk to you about parents and parenting, okay? Now I don't have any biological kids myself and I would like to have had them, okay? But God didn't give me any. But I want to tell you one thing you as parents need to know. You, and I'm pointing at you people out there that are parents. If you try to force your children to become something they don't want to be, you're in the wrong. Why am I saying you're in the wrong? Because you are. I know a pastor, a preacher, a reverend, and they were a Baptist preacher in a church up in Tucumcari. And as far as I know, at that time, when I was there, that was years ago, about 20 years roughly at that time. And I had a lot of anger issues and things of that nature. And there was this 10-year-old boy that was over there at the church. And come to find out, it was the preacher's son. And I told the preacher's son, I said, what are you going to be when he grows up? And he says, I'm going to be a pastor. I said, who told you you're supposed to be a pastor? He says, my daddy told me, or he's going to disown me. I said, only God gives you the choice to become a pastor. You've got to have the calling before you can become one. He thought about it for a minute. And then he went and told his dad what I had said. His dad came marching down the steps at the church and says, how dare you tell my son that he's not going to be a pastor? How dare you tell him that he should be something else? I said, if he don't have the calling to become a pastor, he should not be made to be that. He's got the calling because I told him to. That's exactly what the father said. I said to him, I said, how do you know that's what he's supposed to do? Because I'm the boss of this church, and what I say goes. And I said, well, I don't care if you're the boss or not. When he turns 18, he can do the hell he wants. He doesn't have to do what you tell him to do. He can do his own thing. And this pastor got mad at me. I said, well, it's the truth. He doesn't have to become a pastor because you tell him he's going to be one. And he told me, how dare you tell me tell me that my son's not going to be a pastor? And I said, well, how do you know? Is it your responsibility to tell your son or your daughter that you're going to be a pastor, or you're going to be a pastor's wife, or you're going to be a football player, or you're going to be this or that? How do you know that's your calling? You don't know. See, God doesn't make everybody a pastor. God doesn't make everybody a preacher. God doesn't make everybody a lawyer. God doesn't make everybody a servant, and not everybody's going to be flipping burgers, and not everybody's going to be working all these good jobs. See, my father wanted me to be a salesman. And I told my dad, I don't want to be a salesman. He says, you're going to be a salesman, and that's where it's going to be. And I said, really? And you're going to tell me how to do it, really? And when I got older, I said, Dad, I want to be a mechanic. I don't want to be a salesman. I refuse to be a salesman. And now that I'm 18, you're not going to tell me what to do, and you're not going to tell me how to live my life, and I'm going to do what I want. And he didn't like it. And my father still stuck with me and my choices. And I became what I wanted to be, which was basically a handyman and mechanic and all the things of that nature. I know a lot about mechanics, a lot about alternators and starters and things of that nature. I know the basic principles behind them, and I know how to fix them, and I know how to repair them, and I know how to fix engines and transmissions and miscellaneous things. But I didn't want to become a salesman. Why? Because that wasn't my calling. So if you're a father out there and you tell your child, and I'm pointing at you, if you tell your child that he's going to be a pastor whether he likes it or not, what happens when he gets 18 and says, Daddy, I'm not going to do as you tell me to do? Let me put it to you this way. I don't know if you know Joel Osteen's father. But Joel Osteen's father had a parents, and they didn't believe in God, and they didn't believe in all this other stuff. And when he became 17 years of age, he was the only one in his family to give his life to God. And out of that, he was the only one to become a pastor, and that was his calling. He didn't become a coal miner, but his father was a coal miner and says, that's what you're going to be as a coal miner, whether you like it or not. And guess what happened? He became something that the entire family never did. Gave his life to God and became a pastor because that was his calling. You know, Joel Osteen's father had wanted someone to take over. Prayed about it, everything, told Joel and said, you make a wonderful pastor. And in some cases, that happens. Your child becomes a pastor. But that isn't always the case. Sometimes you'll go to the grave knowing that your son or your daughter didn't get to be what you wanted them to be. Parents, you can't control your children's destiny. That's not right. You can't tell them what to do and how to live their lives. Only they can decide that. If they want to be a fireman, let them be a fireman. If they want to be a paramedic, let them be a paramedic. If they flip burgers and they're happy with their life, you let them flip burgers and you be satisfied with what they live on. And love them regardless. Well, this is my video for today, and I wanted to tell you this is how I feel, and I'm sure there's a lot of other children out there that just like this. If they want to be something in their life, if they want to go to college, they want to be a painter or a plumber or whatever, even if they want to follow your footsteps, please let them do what they want to do. Don't force them to do something they don't want to do. Y'all have a good day in the name of Jesus Christ. And remember, parents, let your children decide what they want to be in this life. Don't you force them because they'll hate you forever. Y'all have a good night.